Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the Adassah at Large on Sunday show. Another Sunday, another show. It's good to see you all. Last time I saw you was a couple of weeks ago with our artist P Vibes, and now we've got another special guest. Yes, we are all the way from Jamaica. But before I let you know all about our rising big star, I'm going to give a few housekeeping rules. Please like, share, subscribe. Please put thumbs up to show you like it. We like to see lots of thumbs up, yes. And we like to see lots of subscriptions. So subscribe to the platform, and then you'll be able to get the added benefit of all the notifications. So as soon as a show is up and coming, then you will be notified. So like, share, subscribe, and then all will be okay. All right. So that's how we're doing the show today. So who have we got today? We have got an incredible rising star. This is a story where the love of music has never failed. This is a young man from Westmoreland, Jamaica. And no matter what paths you go, that love of music has always been there like a burning fire. And this is where dreams become reality. So, this is testimony to all of you that have great talent and has pursued something else, but that burning desire is still there to go for it. Go for your dreams because that's your calling. That's your gift. That's your talent. That's your calling. And that's what our Almighty above us as one of our duties to perform on this earth. And this is the journey that we're going to understand by meeting the man himself, none other than Vernal Saje on the Adassah at Large on Sunday show. Welcome, Vernal.
Yeah, man. Thank you, Adassah. Good morning, and thank you. That was quite an awesome introduction, man. Fabulous introduction. When I grew up, I wanted to be like you.
You want to be like me. You want to be like me.
Yeah, I want to sound like you sound. You sound awesome. Thank you. Thank you. I'm honored. Very, very
You
honored.
are
Very honored.
welcome. Well, I'm honored too. It's just such a pleasure to meet individuals like yourself that are so talented, that it just got such a great story to tell and still going on. So, the beauty of it is, as my mum always says, where's there's a life, there's hope. So
That is
once
true.
you got life, no matter what, your
That's a
journey,
smart mother. That is true.
your
Keep
journey,
believing in your dreams,
that's
even though
right.
sometimes, it seems unattainable.
Yes,
It can be. It sometimes can be attained, even no matter the path that you have gone on or
that's
the
right.
journey you may take. You can always, you know, achieve your dreams, and that is true for me. Yes, it is.
Oh, yes. And no matter what, it keeps pulling you back to the
It
music.
keeps pulling me back because the truth is that I went. My mom didn't like me, you know, going into music
Mm-hmm.
because she thought, music have a lot of Rastafarians, right?
Yeah.
And she thinks that my mom is a Christian. Says it's a direct, it's an opposite perspective where she's concerned in terms of Rastafarism versus Christianity. And that was the objection that she had. As a school teacher and a Christian, devoted Christian, she never let that happening at all. So she said, no, man, after university, you go. So I went off and I studied computer and accounts and worked in the industry. But you know what? I'm not that sad. Each step,
Mhm.
the first thing I went to university, what I won? I won an
Yeah.
award.
What was that?
Music. I won
Wow.
music. I won a music award. They had a competition and I came first. Right? It was an
Wow.
all island, all universities were involved. I came first in the competition in music. So even though I loved, I was studying, I still was involved in music. So they used to have every night. Now I was the person who used to entertain the block. Every night they had block party at the university. It's me themselves. They all wanted me to come and entertain. So it was still a part of me. It was still a part of the journey. So no matter even when I started working and they had staff concert, I was working at I remember working at telephone company,
Mhm.
with the company that provide telephone in
Yeah.
Jamaica. They had a staff party and I performed at the party. I did a song. And they printed when the magazine came out, I was on the cover of the magazine. Yeah,
Wow.
it was really everybody had loved the song. So it was still the same journey that even when while I was working, so you see the journey was always continuous. And I was still working, just leaving college, started working and I entered festival. So I still had that passion for music no matter where I go.
Mhm. That's beautiful. That's what it's all about. But we're going to roll back. We're going to start a little bit from the beginning. And then, but before you started uni, you was in the music. You was
Yes.
interested in the music. Your talent was spotted. Actually, who was your talent spotted by?
From high school, I was part of the choir. At Glenmuir, I went to the Glenmuir High School
Hmm.
and I sang in the school choir. So they
Right.
thought I could. They heard me. The choir master heard me singing one day and invited me to come and sing in the choir. So I started singing in the choir. So we're used to go to different, you know, we had different type of events,
Yeah.
and we entered a number of choir activities in Jamaica versus
Hmm.
other schools. We had to be singing at KC. We went to almost a lot of campuses that we had competition. Our choir I was a part of the choir that entered these competition while I was in high school. So I was participating in the school choir from a very early age.
Wow. And you was associated, you was friends with Peter Tosh's is it son?
Yeah, man, because that was early when I started going to primary school, though. I met
Oh,
Peter's
early.
son. He was going to the same school with me. So there was, an early buzz in terms of, you know, wanting to, channel the energy into this particular direction. Because Tosh was somebody who lived near to me, very
Right.
near to me. He was living very close to us. So, from early days, there was a early vibration of music. Listening and sometimes hearing rehearsal and music coming from across where they lived. So it was a very early introduction in terms of the taste of reggae music for me.
So did you ever meet Peter Tosh himself?
He was away most of the times on tour. So by the time I
Oh.
left Westmoreland and went to Clarendon to stay with my mother, I
Hmm.
didn't get a chance to meet Peter any at all. Because he was always away on tour and he was
Yeah.
working in Kingston a lot of the time with Bob Marley.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was working with Bob a lot of the time. So he was always almost in Kingston a lot or touring with Bob. So my chance, I didn't get a chance to meet him directly then. Didn't get a chance to meet him.
And his son, could his son sing? Was he in the choir? Did you sing together
The-
or produce any music together?
no, no, I I've now heard that he's in music, was doing music, but back in the days, you
Hmm.
know, as youngsters, we were more focused in primary school. Then it wasn't a music thing really so much as music. But I suppose as I get older, we grow up more. You wanted by high school
Yeah.
that that definitely came out. But I wasn't in Westmoreland then. I was in Clarendon. I was living near to Cocotee this time. So when I
Oh,
moved from Westmoreland, I journeyed into Clarendon, and guess
mhm.
what? Bam into Cocotee.
Oh my goodness. Wow. So,
Yeah, and he
these are
became
all
we
your
were very good
calling
friends.
there now. These were all signs.
That is true. Because hear the truth now. When I made Cocotee, I was a little bit more into music. I was
Right.
singing with the choir. I was, beginning to like music. So when they used to have concerts, I used to go to the concerts and sing.
Uh-huh.
I was always singing at the concerts in the community.
Yeah.
And he was by then becoming quite a star. So a lot of people used to say, hey, they used to call me Green Tea.
What? Why
I
was
used to
you?
try to sound like Cocotee.
Oh, so there's cocoa tea and green tea. Okay. Because
Everywhere I
you're
used
young,
to go,
you
they
have
used to
come
call
up.
me Green Tea.
Yeah, you're
I used to
coming up.
copy. I used to really copy him. He was such an idol for me, and I used to copy how he sound. When he did his first song, Sonia, that was
Mm.
recorded. Man, I was singing Sonia everywhere I go. People begin to think I was Cocotte when I go to the concerts. They were jumping on fence, coming
Wow.
over, think Cocotte was in the lawn singing, but it wasn't Cocotte, it was Green Tea.
Wow. So
It was quite a fan. I
did
was
your
quite a fan of
parents
his.
did your parents actually know you could sing?
My mom knew because I used to go to the school. I was on the choir, and she knew I
Right.
was in the choir, in the school choir at Glenmere. She knew,
She knew
but she didn't
something.
encourage it in the sense. But back in those days, because most of the persons who were in music were Rastas,
Right.
she would never
Oh,
encourage that. And then she, being a school teacher and a Christian, well, that was not encouraged at all. That wasn't encouraged because there was not a lot of people was very successful at that time in a
mm.
music career that she knew. So she thought I'd have been more successful in a regular career. So I went off and did computers.
Well, do you know what? That was a lot of parents that sort of time,
That
isn't
is
it?
true.
Yeah, that was. Especially when it came to having locks and hanging around with rastas. It was like, no,
And
no,
then
no.
by then Cocotte was a young turning into a Rasta guy. So he started rassing his ear. He
Yeah.
was older than me, but him start rassing ear and thing. So he used to come to buy because he used to come by my house sometimes and borrow my bicycle. Then
Okay.
he would write, yeah man, because he used to borrow my bicycle sometimes. Him and my stepfather became very good friends,
Hmm.
but they used to smoke together. Because my stepfather used to smoke. So
Right.
himself and Cocotte used to hang out and used to smoke. My mom didn't like that. They were smoking, the good stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. The green stuff.
They were smoking the green stuff. And she didn't want me to go near that green stuff.
Yeah,
So you see why she was opposed to me and
I
doing that?
totally understand. Yeah,
She
yeah.
didn't want me smoking the green stuff.
Because they want what's best for us, don't they? They don't know.
And
They don't.
I've never
Yeah.
actually smoked that stuff.
Mhm.
Never did. Never
Yeah.
to this day, I've never touched it because she was, opposed, that really opposed, strongly opposed to it.
Yeah.
I never touched the green stuff at all. Even though
Yeah.
my stepfather used to smoke it and he used to send me to go and get it for him, I didn't touch it stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Didn't
Yeah.
touch it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I totally get it. Even myself, I've never touched those sort of things. Nobody in my
Never.
family
Yes.
smoked. My parents did smoke before I was born, but by the time I was born, they both gave it up.
Yep. Okay.
So I personally never saw them smoking.
No, and the funny thing, it was a thing that was happening very regularly around me. Because my
Yeah.
stepfather smoked. Other members of the family, his brothers and other stuff would smoke the same thing, the green stuff. Because they didn't smoke cigarette,
Yeah,
They
yeah,
smoked the green stuff. And it was always very plentiful around me because what was happening that we lived near the Coptic farm. There was a farm, the Coptic
mhm.
farm, because in Rocky settlement where we live, there was a farm in Portland where they used to plant lots of the green stuff. And I used
Right.
to go up there and help them bring it down. But I never touched the green stuff. Never ever touched it. I one day had a couple of tea though. Once I drank a couple of the tea and it was quite fine. It was a young one. You know
Right.
the young green, the very young green one? I
Mhm.
tried the tea a couple. I tried the tea a couple of times and it wasn't bad. But you have never tried it?
I've never drank it. I've never smoked it. I've just stayed clear of it, if I'll be honest. Stayed
Yeah,
totally
man,
clear.
that's what I've done ever since that. I've
Yeah.
stayed very far.
Not everybody can handle it as
I
well,
know
you
because
know?
I remember in school one day, I was in high school and a couple of guys from my class had it. And believe me, the guys were like they were very the effect on them was so strong that for couple like for the entire day we were nervous that these guys were gonna hurt themselves.
Oh no.
They were hallucinating
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
behaving very strangely. And
yeah,
because of that, it scared me.
yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah,
Scared me,
yeah,
man. So I stayed far from the green stuff.
yeah.
And then, you know what the funny thing though? While in school also, I was involved in music other than just in the choir. When they had like school concerts, I was always performing.
Good.
I was always performing. I was always into music. I was always writing songs and performing. A lot of people knew me in high school and in university. When I went to university, they all thought I was going to do music because of winning the award in university. I came first in the contest. Everybody thought that because Fab Five came to the university when I was just started going to university, and they were the backing band for the contest, and they thought I could sing pretty well. They encouraged me and thought I could sing pretty well. So I came first in the entire university across the entire Jamaica. Everybody came from all the different schools, and
Wow.
they thought I was going to go
Great.
very far. But work was pretty challenging. So it was difficult to
Yeah,
balance music and work. So I stuck with school.
you start with school. Okay. And that's life sometimes,
That is true.
we're going to be talking some more about your life and some more of your music. But before that, we're going to actually play live. Yes, we're going to
Yeah,
play
man. One of my favorite piece of work, life.
we could talk about that afterwards
Yeah,
and some
man.
more. And here we are, Vernal Saje with life. You can dance, Vernal, whatever. Sometimes Adassah does dance.
I gladly would it, but I just up. So because I'm just up,
L-
normally I would
l-
have my coffee. I
Look,
haven't had my coffee yet.
let me tell you something. If you can go raving all night and bleach it out, then you can dance to this.
I apologize because in Jamaica it's 6 o'clock, and the sun is not even up yet. It's still very early. So normally I'd be up. I'll just be waking up. So luckily Larry called me while I was snoozing. So you
Yes, I
notice,
gathered that. I gathered that.
yeah, man, so I have my Chelsea shirt on. So the
Oh,
fans can see my Chelsea shirt.
that's
I'm a
Chelsea.
Chelsea fan.
Yes.
So
Okay.
Larry don't want to hear that, you know. Larry's a Liverpool man.
When he's hearing it now.
Yes, I'm a Chelsea fan. So I'm wearing my Cole Palmer shirt. Tell Larry I'm having my Cole Palmer jersey on and I'm wearing my Chelsea shirt.
Okay, we will do. Let's have a little bit more of life.
Yeah, man.
Life is for living, ebbs and it flows. So unforgiving, as everyone knows. Today you could be up, tomorrow you're down. Never let the situation make you wear a frown. Learn life's lessons every day you do. But to thine own self, always be true. Whoa, 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 lie. Yes, lie. Never win it all. Sometimes, my
Yes, I will.
friend, will have a fall in life. Yes, lie. Never win it
What?
all. Sometimes, my friend, will have a fall.
Oh, come here and say hi. Adassah, this is Robin,
Hello.
my granddaughter.
Oh, your granddaughter. Hello. What's your name?
Robin,
Robin. Hello, Robin. Hey, you wake up early for granddad. Nice to meet you.
yeah, man, Robin is up.
In your eyes, read it in your face. So many memories, wish you could erase. Oh, tell you a story about relationships. Yeah, know they do well, bound to have a slip. Win some, you lose some. That's the way life goes.
Yo, man.
Forget your
Let's play a
sorrow.
bit, man.
Forget about your woes. Oh, lie. Yes, lie. Never win it all. Sometimes, my friend, will have a fall. In life, yes, lie. Never win it all. Sometimes, my friend, will have a fall. Oh, lie. Yes, life, never win it all. Sometimes, my friend, will have a fall. In life, yes, life, never win it all. Sometimes, my friend, will have a fall.
Beautiful.
Thank you, man.
Absolutely wonderful. I love the words.
Oh, thank you.
The words are just resonate with everybody because it's just life, isn't it?
That's
You
why
know,
we
you have
call it
ups
life
and
because it's
downs.
really, it's life in terms of the journey. Whatever journey you take in life, those words are part of real journey, life journey. So that is why I call the song life. It speaks to the journey of life itself.
What's two lessons you've extracted from life?
That, is the last part of the song.
Mm-hmm.
To thine own self, always be true. And always persevere. You can always persevere. No matter where you start, that's not where your journey must be. You can end up far greater than your start, or where you perceive that you may be, where you were coming from. So no matter how things are hard or tough the situation may be, you can always work if you work hard. If you believe and trust in God and work hard enough, you can achieve your goals. So you must have life goals. You must set yourself. I believe in setting myself goals,
Yeah.
and then you work hard to achieve those goals.
Yeah. And then God will give you the extra blessings and the opportunities, open
That
doors.
is
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah. Yeah. True. And I would say for myself, what would I say? The two lessons would be enjoy the good times.
True.
Joy and cherish the good times. And through the bad times, always believe God has got your back.
That is true. That's fundamental, you know. Very fundamental.
Yeah,
Enjoy the good times. It's true. Because
yeah,
you don't know when it's gonna turn. You don't know when the bad times will come. So you're right. And when they come, you're right about that. Be
yeah,
prepared and put God first.
yeah.
He
Trust
will
God.
always have your back.
Yeah,
Good one, Adassah. I
always.
will adapt that. I will add that to my to
You're
my
gonna add that to
perspective
your
too.
list.
I'll add it to my list.
Yeah, man. You can make a song out of it.
That's what I was thinking. That's how I wrote most of my songs.
Yeah,
Is from things that people sometimes. I'll have discussion with people
yeah.
and have a discussion, and out of this discussion ki- comes a song.
Yes.
And it is true because a lot of the time the inspiration is not just me, it's from other people's journey too.
Yes, yes. Because we can't go through every emotion. We can't go through every situation. So we've got to learn from what we hear and what we see from others.
That is true because it's always been said that wise men sometimes learn from the mistake that others have made.
Mm-hmm.
They don't necessarily have to make the same mistakes themselves. You
Mm-hmm.
can learn from what people have done wrong and
Mm-hmm.
recognize that as something that you should not do. So even writing music, it can be the journey of someone else.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
take that and you put that out there and people will appreciate it.
Of
They will
course.
appreciate the
Of
journey
course.
that someone else made. And that is what life is. And that's music too.
Yeah. I do love that song, Life. I
Thank
like
you
that.
very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Everybody can resonate with those
Yeah, because
words.
and the good thing about it, when I went studio to do the song, Dean Fraser came and heard the lyrics and heard the song and said, "Boy, I want to play the horn. You can hear the horns in that song, Dean Fraser." And he came in and he asked me if he could do the horns for me.
Hmm.
I didn't ask him enough. He came to the studio and heard us doing the recording and said, "No man, I love this song. Can I do the horns?" And I said yes. And the rest is history. He did it without
Wow.
inviting him to do it. He just
Yeah.
came by and he loved the song. He said it spoke volumes and the
Mm.
words really connected to him and it really connected with him. So he wanted to do the horns and he did the horns in life.
Wow. Beautiful. Fair now. Later on in your years as a child growing up, you moved from, as you said, you moved from Westmoreland and you moved to Rocky Point.
Yes,
Now, Rocky Point is a mixed bag, um, and you come from a middle class background, yeah, being your
true.
mum a teacher and your dad an insurance sales. Now, how was life um, mixing with all different types of children from different backgrounds? Some of them like yourself, but some of them maybe working class, and then others that are really, really struggling. How did people, the children, I know what children are like, but how did you deal with that diversity?
All right, very good question. You know the funny thing, even though my mom was at a level where it was, yeah, because we had a helper who used to came by. We had helpers, so most of my stuff was done by the helper, washing and stuff like that for me
Mm,
because my mom was able to afford it. But most, the friends, in the truth though, most of the people who I hang out and the friends who I had was persons who were in the lower because I liked sport and music. And if you
mhm,
notice that, because I like cricket, because I played cricket and football, most of the youngsters, the youth I used to hang out with were persons in the same background, not in the middle income, because Most of the guys I used to hang out with were in class with me, wanted to be doctors because of
Okay.
the middle income background. So while I was excelling in school and in fifth form, I was in
Mm,
5A. So most of the time I was doing very, very well. Because we had
mm,
5A to F. And I was always in A. From
mhm,
one first form right up to fifth form, I did sixth form. So even though I was pretty bright in school, I
mm.
used to hang with most of the guys who were in the lower income because bracket because they did the same thing I did. They loved music. They
Mhm.
would when we were going to concert to sing and stuff like that, it was those same guys. When we were playing cricket for the school and sport, it was those same guys. The other
Right.
ones were a little bit more snobbish. They
Mm.
didn't want to engage in sport. And because I love the physical activities, I found that the friends I formed and the friends I had were the persons in the lower income strata.
Right.
Because I suppose bird of a feather flock together. And
Yeah.
I find that from early days, I didn't want to hang with the guys who were doctors and the
Mm.
professionals. I really enjoyed the company of the man who was in the street.
Okay. Did you find them more sociable and more down to
They were
earth?
more they were more sociable and
Yeah.
they weren't trying to be putting on airs. They weren't
Okay.
trying to be wanting to be the doctor, the lawyer. 'Cause matter of fact, when I was in when I was at Glenmere, in fifth form I was captain in the quiz team. And on my quiz team, most of those persons now are doctors.
Mhm.
The quiz team had I was the only person who was playing cricket and football. But because I was pretty bright,
Yeah.
I was pretty good and I was pretty bright. They couldn't
Mm.
keep me off the team.
Mm.
But I was always hanging with so I can tell you a story.
Go on then.
We were gonna visit the museum, the Hope Museum, the museum where they had the Arawak Museum,
Mhm.
and my class was going. I was in fifth form by then, and these were the brightest at Glenmure. So when they were going, they refused to carry me. They said I was a troublemaker. I was really hanging with the guys in like 5E and 5F. Those were the guys I used to hang with during lunchtime.
Right.
And
Right.
those were the guys I used to go home when we're going home together. That's the
Right.
crew I go home with.
Yes. Yeah.
They refused to carry me, the thing is that we used to do a lot of grubbing. And the rich ones wouldn't get involved in the grubbing. So my class, I was kind of seen as the pariah, the outcast in the classroom.
Oh,
Because
right.
most of the kids inside there were from the middle to upper income strata, while the
Mm.
friends I was hanging with was always from the basement. But it was because I was not bright.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
used to hang out with these guys in the basement and they didn't do well, but they would then blame me too. So that I'm taking up their time. I'm allowing them to do poorly. Yet I do very well. But my
Oh gosh. Right. Okay.
but
Oh,
my mother would kill me. If my mother see a low grade, I'm dead.
yeah.
I'm dead, 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 dead. So she used to, because she was a school teacher,
Yeah. Yeah.
she used to
Got
ensure
the grades. Yeah, and
that
she
I
just
get all
go.
the right grades and I do well. So even though in school, I tell you the truth, another thing in high school, I got sick and I went to the hospital, right?
Mhm.
And the teachers were having, a couple of the nurses were there. One of the matron saw me. Let me get my charger.
Okay. So please do. If you've missed any parts of the show, then please catch up on YouTube. You'll be able to catch the recorded show. It's the same link, everyone. It's the same link. Catch up with the recorded show.
Yeah, man. And some back now. So I was saying then, there was
Mhm.
great excitement in the hospital.
Yeah.
The matron, and these were people who were, they were, when you were a matron in the hospital, and then you were from the, upper, most of they came to the parent teachers meeting at Glenmere, and the subject of the parent teacher meeting was me.
Mhm.
I was in a class that everybody was bright, and I was a troublemaker, and they were talking about me. So when I got sick, and they took me to the hospital, they say, see me, see troublemaker here. About a dozen nurse run coming up. They all wanted to know. I was the subject of the. So one of the guy who was my very good friend, he
Yeah.
came and told me the next day that his mom said, "Who sit in front of you?" And she told him, "Who sit behind you?" She said, "Oh," she said, "Vernal." The mother said, "Move from that seat. Move from that seat. Do not sit near to him."
Oh my gosh.
So
Wow.
the mom told him not to sit near to me. He was to move. Because once she asked him who he was sitting close to, and he
Yes.
told his mother that me, the mother said, "No, no, no. He's the bad one in the school." But
Oh.
because I used to hang out with the roughnecks and the tough guys.
Yes,
And I
yes.
like that I really like that crowd because that crowd was closer to my heart.
Yes, your heart. Yeah. 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 I am. Did you ever help any of them with their homework?
With no, the truth be told that I back then no, but when I started going to college now,
Yeah.
I started getting helping people now more so than because I recognize that then I was blamed by some of those guys too, like not in my class, but in the lower classes, that I had wasted them waste their time. I
Oh,
remember
I
a particular
see.
friend of mine said me contributing him time with being wasted and him not doing well in school because I was always hanging with them, playing sport with them. But when I go home, my
You
mom
still
my
doing
mom
your
would
work.
would kill me. So I
So
had
you
to
had
work at home.
yeah, you had to catch up. Where maybe when they went home, they were distracted by other things
And
and did
because their mothers were not teachers,
right. Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
them didn't have mothers that were teachers back in that
Yeah.
then. So because if you don't have a mom who's a teacher, always engage, who will believe in, you know, pushing you to the limit, you could
Yes.
go home and didn't do any and don't work,
Right.
and that could affect you in the long run.
Yes. 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 You know, I think that happens a lot because when I was at college, school, things like that, um, there'd be some really bright children that would hang out with others, and you'd think, where did they get the time from? Like they're always
That
out and
that was
about,
me. True.
always out and about, but yet they get top grades. They get
That
top
was
grades.
me. I was
Yeah,
always out and about because we even when we were playing, I was playing cricket for the school and I was
yeah,
in the choir. So a lot of the class time I was either away playing cricket or going to other schools to do choir. To do we would always have competition. So the bus would leave or we go on to competition during class. When I come back, I'm still getting 80s and 90s because
right.
my mom would be on my tail.
Still have
So
to
I had
work.
to work hard while I was at home.
Yes, yes,
So
yes,
even on weekends, they were not weekends for me to hang out. It was weekends for me to work.
yes,
And
yes.
even on the holidays, we had the library at the house. I
Yeah,
came third in the parish for reading.
right.
Not I came first, not third. I came first. I won the parish prize for reading because I read every single book in the library, in the school library. There are
Ah,
about 2,000 books in there, and I read every single book. One summer, I just stayed in the library and read every single book. They had to send the van to come back and change out the books. And that was one of the things that helped my writing skill.
yes,
I could
yes.
write poems, and I used to
Mm-hmm.
write a lot of poems then. So people thought I could really write, but it was because I met a lot of words.
Mm-hmm.
I read every single book in the library. I even read the Bible.
Wow.
So sometimes the pastor think me give trouble in church because I know all the stories in you.
So you finish off his sentence, yeah?
I do.
Oh my goodness.
I read a
Wow.
lot. Even though I still read. A lot of the nights I read ebooks. So I have a lot of books that I do read. So reading is a passion. So if you're gonna want, I believe that if you want to write well,
Yeah.
you should
Read.
also do a lot of reading.
You're 100% correct. You should do, there's two things. Well, three things. Three things, I would say. Read well, read a lot,
I do.
travel, travel,
That
travel.
is true. Because one thing I've done, even though I've traveled internally, I've also traveled externally. So I
Yeah,
know every single parish. I've probably stayed at every resort in Jamaica. And I've also traveled as well, extent abroad. So I've broadened my horizon as well with traveling. You're
yeah.
totally correct about that, Adassah.
Is when you travel, you meet different types of people, different types of situations, especially if you're a sociable person, you know. You come across different situations and that actually helps. But then I would say there's a third layer, Vernal. The third
What's the
layer,
third?
is spend time with yourself, allocate time for yourself.
That is true.
Do you know, you'd be amazed that a lot of people don't spend time for themselves. They're just
It's true.
constantly on the go,
That is
on the
true.
go. All they do is sleep, get up, and then on the go, on the go, on the go.
It's
They
totally
don't,
true.
yeah,
Over the last period of time, I've been doing a lot of that. And even then I was growing up, I learned that well. Because I used to, while my friends were out, playing sometimes
yeah,
and doing stuff, I was actually in the library reading.
mm-hmm,
I spent a lot of time. And one of the things that made me successful in the IT industry, because
mm-hmm.
I'm a sage consultant, hence the name, you call me Saje, right? It's
Saje,
actually Saje. There's an
Saje,
accent over the E's. Vernal Saje.
Saje.
It's Saje.
How do
It's
I say
actually
it?
from Sage Software. I read the
Uh,
manual cover to cover. The software, when
yeah,
it first came to Jamaica, I read every single thing in the manual. And then people start. I was very, very good at Sage, the software. So a lot of
mm,
companies hired me and I
right,
became a Sage consultant. It's because I read every single thing in the manual. And there are times I'll be at home, spending time by myself, just
yeah,
reading the manuals.
yeah,
So spending time by yourself is really useful. Believe me.
yeah,
I found out that I'll be able to challenge myself, read a lot, and learn a lot more, and able to bring value to the table just because I like to read. Mhm.
yeah.
It's true. So spending time with yourself is it's of great value. Totally correct, also.
And listen, because some people like to talk too much and they have to learn to listen. Listening is very powerful.
I'm guilty there. I love to talk.
You can miss a lot of things when you don't listen.
True. That is true.
You know, you miss reading the room. You can miss reading people's tones and body language, and just like there's sometimes people say certain words, but they don't actually mean it, and they're trying to communicate to you or maybe to somebody else like a hidden code, so to speak, based on their tone of voice. And if you're not listening, it will just gloss over. You'll miss
It's
it.
true. You're totally correct. You can lose the entire message. You can lose the entire message that is being translated to you
Yeah.
because you're not listening.
Mm.
And that is true because even in class and growing up, I found that there are times I didn't listen as much as I should. I was distracting people around me in high school.
Oh,
But it's
you're
in
one of
college I
them,
learned the
aren't you?
value of
You're
really
one of
listening.
them. That's why you get the name Trouble. Yeah, you're Trouble.
I was always distracting people around.
Oh my
But
goodness.
in college now, I learned
Yeah,
that if you wanted to excel and really
yeah,
super excel, you had to get more serious and listen. It's true. Totally
yeah.
true, Adassah.
We're going to go on to your next song now. We're going to talk
Yeah,
about,
man.
oh, this is just quite juicy, this next one, right? It's a long distance love.
Oh,
And there's a lot of people that do long distance love,
yes,
but we're
true,
going to say we could talk about that after the
Okay,
song.
no problem. No problem. No problem.
Yes.
Take this back from me. I don't want no more. Now that you're leaving, girl, yes, I do know the score. Now that you're going away, improve your life, you say. Leaving me all alone, jamming by my telephone, singing a lonely lullaby. Oh yeah, for my long distance love and I. Oh girl, long distance love, wow, wow, it's not for me. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's too lonely. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's not for me. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's too lonely, girl. Now that you've gone, girl, to that distant shore, trying to hold it together. But sometimes I'm so unsure, even though we talk every day, needs are not going away. Whether it's IG or Outlook, posting to you on Facebook, writing this lonely lullaby. Oh girl, for my long distance love now. Oh yeah, long distance love, wow, wow, it's not for me. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's too lonely. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's not for me. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's too lonely, girl. Don't wanna be lonely in love. Please come back to me. Don't wanna be lonely in love. Take this back from me. I don't want no more. Now that you're leaving, girl, yes, I do know the score. Now that you're going away, improve your life, you say. Leaving me all alone, jamming by my telephone, singing a lonely lullaby. Oh yeah, for my long distance love and I. Oh girl, long distance love, wow, wow, it's meant for me. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's too lonely. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's not for me. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's too lonely. Long distance love, wow, wow, it's not for me. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's too lonely. Long distance love, wow, wow, oh it's not for me. Long distance love, oh you're kinda loving girl, oh it's too lonely. Long distance love, my distance love, wow, wow, it's not for me. Long distance love, yes, long distance love, wow, wow.
So then, long distance is not for you. We get it. We get
And
it. We get it.
the whole the truth be told, I was married.
Hmm.
So I never really had a long distance love. Because
Okay.
I met my wife from high school, and we got
Oh,
married when
nice.
I left school. So it wasn't I was never in a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
But the truth be told is because I read a lot and I
Yeah.
came first in the parish for reading. I
Yeah.
started part of the writing skill came when I wrote a song named Rough Life. And I started working now. I met the minister, I met this guy, Keyshawn Harris.
Hmm.
He was a number one Caribbean writer, contemporary writer. So he heard one of the songs that I wrote. And that song was Today and Rough Life. And he had asked me to write some songs for a book. He was doing a book, and the book was Reggae Superstar. It's about a guy who became, from out of the suburb, the
Hmm.
poor was he came out of the ghetto, was a big singer, and rose out of the ghetto and made his way into the music industry, won a Grammy, etc. So he had asked me to write songs for the book, and that was part of the reason why I started writing a lot more songs because he
Yeah.
was encouraging me to write. So a lot of the songs, like even one of the songs you might have read, like Rasta Paradise. It's one of my songs. I'm not a Rasta man, so
We can see that. We can see that.
yeah, my song Rasta Paradise
Yeah.
spoke to a utopian Rasta society that
Right.
I was asked to write about too. So
Mhm.
I was challenged by him to write some of these stories, and I wrote the storylines, and I wrote the song for the book, Rasta Paradise. I wrote the song for the book. So it was really because he had asked me to write a lot of these things why I wrote them. But it was because I really had such a long distance relationship, no. But I'd seen it around me. The journey was always there around me. I used to see people living in long distance relationship. And you
Yeah.
see where, because my wife, her father had migrated, never came
Yeah.
back to marry
Oh,
his mother. And
right.
her mother lived with us for many years before she died. And he never came back to marry her. So I knew I was actually saw that journey of
Yeah.
her trying to maintain a relationship with somebody who migrated. And that was part of why it was easy for me to write that song. Her
Mm.
mother lived with us for a few years because her dad went away and and they were trying to maintain this long distance relationship,
Yeah. Yeah. Couldn't
and it
do
didn't
it.
work well. Didn't work well. So that was part of you know, I saw that in real life,
Yeah. Yeah.
and
And
that
have
journey was a part of what I actually saw and lived. So it wasn't difficult when I was asked to write that song to write the song.
yeah.
So it
Yeah.
wasn't because of me, but a lot of people ask me all the time. Because remember now, I met this girl now not so long ago. She's living in Antigua, and she
Hmm.
swears to me she write the song. She didn't write the song.
No.
No, 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 it's not true. There's no truth in it. I
Oh.
wrote it because the guy had asked me to write the songs.
Yes, yes, yeah. And as we were discussing before, you don't have to go through certain experience. You can also have empathy and relate to it based on
That
what
is
you
true.
see. Yeah,
That is true. It's a life journey.
yeah,
There are a lot of and that's why the title of the EP and the album that I've actually, because the EP is now completed. It's called Life. It's part of the life journey. There are
yeah,
so many things you'd have encountered without they have to be your physical encounter.
yeah,
You'd
yeah,
have seen people struggle with these, and these are things that affected people around you. You're able
yeah,
to write on it because you have seen it.
yeah. No, definitely,
Yeah, man. So
definitely.
it's not a true story for me, that one. Long distance love, no. But it's relatable because what that mean? I've seen as part of the life journey when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Right.
And people do it. There's people that do it, and it works for, I would say it works for a small percentage of people, but the
Mhm.
vast majority, they get very disappointed because come see me and come live with me, two different things.
It's true. It's true. Totally true. That is totally true. But the foundation thing, as I'll give you another segment as a segue a little bit. So
Hmm.
when I met Cocotte, right?
Yeah.
And then when I went in, my mom insisted I went to university. You know what the funny thing? I met my wife in high school, right?
Nice.
So one weekend when I came down to visit her from university, whom I run into? Ernest Wilson was their neighbor.
Ah,
And Ernest Wilson had a very significant impact in my music career. He
wow.
taught me how to write good music songs
Yeah.
and make them better. Ernest was
Yes.
one of the first person who sat down, played the guitar for me, and on a Sunday and a Saturday I would go by his house and he would sit down and play and teach me a lot of things about music. So in moving across different communities, I keep meeting people who were adding value to my life because he was living right beside my wife. They were neighbors. And she said,
Wow.
"You know who is my neighbor? Ernest
Wow.
Smith, Ernest Wilson from the Clarendonians." And I was shocked. I met the man. And he really liked me and said, you can sing in a youth. And
Oh my
I would
goodness.
go by his house every time I'm down from college. I go by his house and we would have lots of music engagement with Ernest Wilson. So he was the first person who took me to studio. And I met Barry Salmon. I met a number of people through Ernest Wilson. He took me to
Wow.
studio a number of times when he was going. So I started going to studio with him as well. Even though I wasn't when I just left college, we
Yeah.
used to sometimes go to studios in the night, and he would take me along with him. So it was from one music journey to another. Meeting Cocotte, neighbor in one community, going to visit in another community. They live right beside another singer. So I couldn't get away from music. It keep chasing me down everywhere I go.
Wow. And for those that don't know who Ernest Wilson is, he's from the Caledonians.
Yes, he's
And,
from the Corridor.
and yeah, a big star.
He was a huge star
Yeah.
in the community then. So guess what happened? They had a big show and he was the headliner. And he
Wow.
brought me along and he brought me on stage to sing.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, he did. Number of times he would take me on stage to sing. So even though I was doing school and going to
Yeah.
university,
Yeah.
I was still hanging out with these guys, right? I was still doing music. It was always a part of the journey.
Wow. And you just always destined because, you keep coming across certain people in your life, you know, that are that are got big names actually from
Yeah, man, it's
the
true.
music world. So, I'm a strong believer. These are all signs.
That is true because I met people like Bunny Ruggs through Ernest. When we used to go studio, I met Bunny Ruggs. We met Berries. A number of times we hung out. I've gone there in the voicing room with him in the early days to voice one or two songs with him. And I met people like Dennis Brown then. In the early days, I was, a youth then. And
Yeah.
Dennis came up one night and one evening and shook my hand, Dennis Brown. I said, you sound very good youth. You have
Oh,
talent.
that's a big compliment.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Dennis Brown, came
Yeah.
over and shook my hand and said, I like how you sound. Yeah, I
Oh.
like how you sound. You sound pretty good youth. Yeah, youth. Just gonna that you're a young boy, and Dennis Brown come over and shake it off my hand, I didn't wash it for a couple of weeks,
Yeah, and must be dirty by then. Not really.
And that's yeah, man. You know what? I wash your hand after Dennis Brown shake your hand and tell us, say, you,
Oh, I
you
understand.
sound good.
Oh. Oh.
So it was always like that. You're
Yeah.
getting inspiration
Mm.
everywhere you go. That I, and even when actually I came first in college, I won an award, man, and I get money because part of the award was money, and that's what I
Mm.
used to pay my tuition to go. So even my tuition was paid by the music
Oh, wow. You
because there was a
see?
huge cash award, and I
Yeah.
used that to pay my way through university. So even then, the music was driving the whole, the whole
Yeah.
synergy and driving everything. So my ability to pay off everything without asking my parents for money
Yeah.
also came because of what I was doing in school. I was also doing music while I was there and singing, entertaining the blocks at night time. The block when they have block concert, all of
Yeah.
the blocks will come down and have concert at Yui. It's me. Everybody send for me at night time, man. I would run the whole place, man. So it
Yeah.
was it was always a part of my whole growing up and legacy, a part of my
Yeah.
whole journey. Music have always been a part of the journey.
That's good. That's brilliant. Um, we're gonna play One Night Stand.
Ah, that's the song.
We're gonna play One Night Stand. Oh my
That's the
goodness.
song. Yeah, man.
Let's hear this.
That's the song.
I was a one night man on a one night stand. Tell this a girl, now make no plans. All I want was a one night stand. Rip and run up as fast as I can. No one I love, no emotion. Not the kind that I second down. Nobody try to use me operation. But the girl still a persist. Right now she just hard to resist. She get harder, 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 hard to resist. She up the under pressure. Harder, 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 hard to resist. The girl no push over. Harder, 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 hard to resist. She have me under pressure. Harder, 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 hard to resist. The girl no push over. Me know say me have bad intention, but the goal was my destination. Now we look like she had up a plan, sinking faster than me in quicksand. So tell me what's wrong. It look like she mash up my one night plan. No matter what, she still a persist. Right now she just hard to resist. She get harder, 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 hard to resist. She have me under pressure. Harder, 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 hard to resist. The girl no push over. Harder, 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 hard to resist. She have me under pressure. Harder, 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 hard to resist. The girl no push over. I was the one night man. I lost my one night stand. I was the one night man. I lost my one night plan. What? Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Alright. Tell this a girl, now make no plans. All I want was a one night stand. Rip and run off as fast as I can. No one I love, no emotion. Not the kind that a second down man. Nobody try to change me operation, but the girl still a persist. Right now she get hard to resist. She get harder, 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 hard to resist. She have me under pressure. Harder, 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 hard to resist. The girl no push over. Harder, 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 hard to resist. She have me under pressure. Harder, 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 hard to resist. The girl no push over. Harder, 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 hard to resist. She have me under pressure. Harder, 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 hard to resist. The girl no push over. I was a one night man. I lost my one night stand. I was a one night man. I lost my one night plan. Why? I lost my one night plan. Why? Why? My one night plan. I lost my one night stand. Why? My one night plan. Why? My one night stand. Why? My one night plan. I lost my one night stand. Ah.
I was having too much fun at us. I lost you.
Yay!
I lost my,
Woo!
I lost my one. I lost my connection.
Well, that's the one little connection.
I lost my one connection. It was in my one night stand. I
Yeah,
lost it.
yeah, you use your, yeah, with the one night stand, you use your one connection. It's all right. It's all right. Oh, I love that song. It's so lively.
Yeah, it is very lively. Matter of fact, you truth be told, when I went studio the
Yeah.
first night, first day, I was laying the rhythm track. It's just
Yeah.
Barry Salmon drummer, the guy who plays drum for Barry's.
Mm-hmm.
Jump up in the studio and say, "No man, that's not your bad man. That's not your bad." I said, "Ah." The man stopped the session and I said, "No man, that's not your."
Yeah, man. Yeah, it's nice. It's
Yeah,
nice.
man, I
Nice.
said, "Man, stop the session." I said, "That's not your boom tune, me Jude. Boom tune." And I'll
It's
answer the question. No, I'm not. No, it had nothing to do with my life.
no, we know, we know, we know.
So I tell you a story about that song now.
Uh-huh.
I started writing it, but it wasn't part of what the guy had asked me to write. Because he never asked me to write that song. So I wrote the first verse of that song a few years back, before I recorded it. But then I met this lady and she had a daughter. When
Mm-hmm.
finished writing the song, so I was picking her up from school. It's my girl. It's my spouse now because my wife died 10 years now.
Okay.
So I'm
I'm
taking her
sorry.
daughter. Yeah, man, she died. So I was picking her daughter from school home. And I noticed that when I reached, she showed me, she actually is that she got champion and she draws very well. And she was showing me recently the painting of a man with his suitcase packed, walking away from a woman and a child. And it connected because then I realized that was her life too, because her dad had abandoned them when she was, and he had walked, and I asked her and she told me what it meant. And I said, boy, we
Yeah.
Jamaican man, I thought about it and I realized that it was the reality of the story was a lot of young people in Jamaica, even myself. My dad was never there when I grew up. So I realized that a lot of Jamaican men are contributing one night stands really in
Yeah.
terms of they don't want to marry these women.
Yeah.
They want to get them pregnant and then rip and run off as fast as them can. And I
Wow.
realized that was part of the whole dichotomy of the Jamaica society. A lot of it is very prevalent in our society where we are accepting these women to in our beds, but it's not for marriage. And if it's not for marriage, then I see it as a one night stand.
Yeah. Yeah. It is.
Re-
It is.
It
If
is a
it's not.
one. It's just
Yeah.
because once you get them pregnant and they get pregnant, a lot of the men are not responsible, and they
Yeah.
don't want the responsibility of fatherhood and fathering. And you
That's
find a lot of these, yeah, it is a huge part of the Jamaican dichotomy. It's a huge part of the society, and that is what helped, fuel my writing of that song. It's
yeah.
what I've seen. Basically, every man has been participating in that. And if you ask every man, no, most men they have had one night stands where they meet young women and they're not thinking long term.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
vision is not, boy, I want to settle down with this girl. This is a girl I want a long term relationship. You see the girl and you like her, and what comes up in your mind then is, I wonder if I can do this and do that,
Yeah.
and get this as my desire. And that's why lot of the time when these women get pregnant, the men are never around. There was no long-term relationship. It was just a hit and run type of thing that most of our men are actually contributing to our society right now.
But they don't realize, you know, and there's a lot of debate around it, you know, blaming the woman. I think it's six of one, half a dozen of the other, you know, because, yeah, it takes two to tango. So both parties are willing participants.
The truth be
Uh,
told though,
but
Adassah,
if there's a child being produced out of it,
yeah.
no matter what, whether you did like the woman or didn't like the woman or whatever, you should be there for the child.
But you know the problem with this though, Adassah, having
Yeah,
gone to university, we had a
yeah,
paper that was we looked at. There was a study in at the time when I was there, and one
yeah,
of the study we found out that in slavery we had plantation owners, right?
yeah,
I can send that document to you. That there was one of it. There was a guy could be a stud, and he
mm,
was doing very well on a plantation here. 'Cause after slavery was about, after the Middle Passage was about abolished, where the slave trade was abolished. What
yeah,
came out of it is that the slave owner then had to produce their own slaves on the plantation, and they actually used some of the men as primarily for that purpose. You know, they were
yes, yes,
stud,
yes,
and there was
yes,
a paper where this Englishman wrote to a plantation in St. James from up Clarendon, asking him if he could borrow their champion guy, who was the guy who was actually impregnating the woman on his estate. He wanted to rent him out. And I have that document, you know, where the paper was, because it's a part of the thing that we studied in university,
yeah,
where the memo was written, the letter was written to the plantation owner requesting the use of and asking to rent the services of this black man to perform the duty of a stud on his plantation. And I think part of the whole of black people culture is that the Indians came as indentured servant with their family. The Chinese came with their families. We were the only one who never came with a family to the Caribbean. And we were systematically in slavery. The family was destroyed. So that's why part of the reason why it's hard to build a family for us, black
yeah,
people, it's a part of that. And it's a part of that because I have studied that, and
yeah,
have a distinction in history. So when I
yeah,
went to university, I majored in computers, but also minored in history. And what
yeah,
I found out is that the slave owners used to ride to the plantation and rent men for stud purposes.
yeah.
What kind of legacy you're leaving?
It's not
If you
good.
do that, it's not good. So hence you find that a lot of the time we have a lot of it you have irresponsible men in our society who believe that they are rented. No, they are renter guys for that purpose. They will get a woman pregnant and cut and run off and gone as fast as they can. Hence the reason I wrote that song.
And it leaves behind a lot of trauma for the
It does.
children, growing up, confusion,
It does.
and yeah,
It does. Because when I saw a teenage girl, a 16-year-old girl who is
mm,
in art drawing that, you know what that is saying?
mm,
Trauma.
yeah, yeah,
Trauma. She's
yeah,
actually drawing her pain and her trauma.
yeah.
Because if her father did that to her and she actually draw that, and I'm talking about someone I know right now, you know, is a drawing I saw about 4 months ago. And
And you know that pain continues. That rolls over into their relationship. So then they get like a bad view of what men are. And even if they had a nice, good, decent man, they're not able to keep them because it's like the anger and the trauma.
and that's one other thing I was asking in terms of my music journey. If I write songs, if you write to connect with people and show them what we are relationships and what is happening in real life. How do you fix? Where do you find the fix? Can it through music? Can it through some platform? Can it through counseling? Can it what platform? How are you gonna find the fix for
Yeah.
this? Because it's a real social issue, you know.
It is. It is. It is. And you know what one of the greater in social um injustices is that there's large groups of
Mhm.
men and women that don't think it's a problem.
I
That's what
know
the problem is. They don't think it's a problem. That's the starting point of the problem. They
that is
don't
the
think
starting
it's
problem, and I don't think even the church is giving that type of energy to it in terms of solution. Because truth be
mm,
told, if you ask a black man now to marry you, you may end up losing him, you know. Most women will find that. The moment
mm.
you mention marriage, him cut and him think about cutting, you know.
Ronald, yeah, 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 yeah,
He will
yeah,
live with, he will form a relationship with you. A lot
yeah.
of our men are like that. But the moment you mention the word married, brother, I want that you're married, you know, brother. Brother is thinking about, boy, it is he's thinking it's kind of a trap where he's gonna be entrapped, and that you are, you know, you're trapping him. So a lot of our Jamaican or Negro we find don't marry. They are not into marriage in terms of a wedding thing. They will live with a woman for many years because they want to leave the door ajar. And it's like, to me, that's a one night stand.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
You're
like
not
that
built.
over here in the UK to a great extent as well. And but the thing is, this is the irony of it now. You know, I don't think a lot of people realize their rights and entitlements and how they're just shooting themselves in their own foot, so to speak.
Mhm.
You know, when you don't marry, yeah, at the beginning it can seem like a great thing to do, but
Mhm.
long term, when you look at the impact on the child,
It
yeah,
does. Because,
there's loads of legal implications that
yeah,
if you don't marry, it can go against your child.
it
Yeah,
does. But
yeah,
it's not just even the legal implications, you know, Adassah. It's
yeah.
the whole trauma. It's the whole, when they grow, people become what they a product of their environment now.
Do it
That
repeats.
child turn around living the same lifestyle
Yes, it definitely
because
so.
you have not set a foundation for that person, that young
That's
body
right.
that you're bringing up, to see this as a mirror of what they should become based on a marriage and a and
That's
a,
right.
and a positive union. If you give energy, you know, to a union that is not solid, you know what the ripple effect of what you're leaving behind you?
That's right. And there's a lot of
Broken.
hypocrisy. There's a lot of hypocrisy. So they may not do it, but then when their child gets big and their child like dates somebody or seeing somebody, then they're putting pressure on the other person. Oh, you must marry my daughter. You must do the right thing. We don't want no man in and out of my daughter life. But then what was you doing to their mom?
Exactly. And that's one of the things I wanted to have a discussion with that young girl mother, you know. That even though the mother and I are dating, this is something I've seen right now based upon what from the drawing and from the discussion I have with the young lady. I
Mm.
realized that there's a serious problem down the road, you know, because
Is
she's gonna have a trust issue.
yes, yes, yes,
Trusting,
yeah.
because this happened to her and she see this happening to her, that she's able to put it into drawing.
That's
You know
deep.
what? You know, if we have not fixed her in terms of from a counseling thing
Yeah.
to help her to move past this, it's gonna this is what is gonna happen. You're gonna have baggages in relationship, you know,
I know.
because her mental
Yeah.
situation has not been addressed.
Yeah. 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 You're right. 100%
Because
right.
if she's drawing this and
Yeah.
telling me what her interpretation of her drawing at 16, It means that this is something that has have always been at the forefront of her mind. And that's something that has been draining her energy. And it's
Yeah.
something that socially, a lot of young people are finding this great imbalance. And there's no thing to fix that in our society right now. So, at relationship building skills,
Hmm.
real serious challenge.
It is.
So, one night stand is really just a clever way of looking at the relationships, really, and portraying them as really technical one night stands.
Yeah. 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 I
Yeah, I didn't
agree.
want to broaden it out into too much of that when I was writing it, because I know what I was thinking, but I didn't want to. So, I never want people to say, boy, me I try psychoanalyze people
Yeah.
relations.
Yeah. 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 Well, yeah, because you made it in a song, but it's still got a message, but it's still entertaining.
it's still
And
it's still
fun.
entertaining.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I
Which is
wanted to
fun. That's
add
what
some fun.
music's all
Yes.
about, isn't it?
Yes. I wanted to add the fun to it as well.
Yeah. Yeah.
And make it very relatable. So it's very relatable. When a lot of the people listen it, and I listen a lot of the guys and I watch them and we talk and them hear
Yeah.
the song, they must say, yeah, it's relatable, it's very relatable. That's all they keep saying. And it's true, it's relatable. But there's a story there for real. While it's
Really.
relatable, it's a
Yeah.
real story there.
Yeah. 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 Definitely so.
We need to fix ourselves. And that's why I made in the end the woman mash up the man one night stand to give probably that subtle message that maybe we need to mash up our one night stand.
Yeah. Yeah. We
But
need to.
I don't know if the message will get across to
No. No.
affect, you
Well,
know, and
every little make a muckle, as they say, isn't it?
that is true, Adassah. And that's how I write songs. To give a little storyline, like long distance love, it's a relationship, it's relatable. The songs I try to do that in the songs. Messaging.
It's been absolutely wonderful talking to you today, Vernell.
It was beautiful, Adassah. I think it's you make it so wonderful, you know. You're a very engaging woman. I could
Oh,
talk to you for ages.
thank you, thank you, thank you.
You're not only beautiful, but you have a beautiful soul
Oh,
and a
thank
beautiful way of engaging. So you feel like you feel very comfortable. I feel like I've known you for years. You have that persona,
yeah, thank you.
and I really must thank you for
No, thank you.
thank you for the interview. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
And
don't
that's
don't finish yet.
and the
Don't
good
finish.
thing about it. A lot of time when people interview Vernal Saje, they, they,
Yeah,
they ask the typical questions, background, school, what you did, how you get music, all the people. But you made it a bit somewhat different by
yeah,
this type of engagement in terms of dissecting, you know, oh, how even with one night stand, this part I've never really gone into on an interview with the whole university, the background, the study of
yeah,
what I have been there when I was doing that degree and learning about what happened on the plantation with the never learned, never had these in the interview. And you actually brought that out. Thank you.
you're welcome. Yeah,
It was very engaging.
very, very,
Yeah, man,
very.
very engaging. And thank you. And thank
Yeah,
you.
you too. Vernell,
Yes.
do you know, you've resurrected your music career over
Right.
the last few years since
Right.
primarily since lockdown, and you had your hit, you know, lockdown with Rasta Paradise.
Boris Gardner was, truth be told, that was when I met the guy from who was writing, and I
Yeah.
went to Boris Gardner, and I said, Boris, Boris Gardner?
Yes.
I
I
wanna
wanna
wake up with
love
you.
you.
And Adassah just did that to me this morning. Yeah, wake you up with Adassah this morning. Boris, typical Boris. And I say, you know, you're bad.
That's a tune.
Yeah, man, you have all of the tune them, you know, man. From waking up with you to the one night guy. And Boris said to me, you know, when I went to Boris, it's just one verse me have, you know.
Uh-huh.
I didn't have the second verse. And Boris said, you know, you need to write. But when you're writing, he also helped because he was very instrumental during the pandemic. He had lockdown and he had a home studio and he never want nobody come at the studio. But you know,
Right.
his wife and himself were very nice to me. I was the only person who could come to that studio and record.
Wow. That's a privilege, isn't it?
I used to go to Boris' house. Me and Boris used to talk. Boris teach me again. The musical journey continued. I learned so much from that man. I couldn't say if I was singing a song and I was doing Rasta Paradise, I can't mispronounce a word. Hey, Boris have me singing that song for one day, one whole day. You know?
Yeah.
Every word I had to pronounce them over and over like the Queen English. I can't, my T's can't disappear. I can't lose my H's. Boris would say, no, Vernal, no,
Good.
no, no.
That's
I would
privilege.
sing one line for all 20 minutes, you know, and Boris still not find it right. Me I
Good.
make a mistake with the letter. Me taking off a T. Me not put pronouncing my H's. He was one of the no man.
Good. It's
He's
a
one of the
hard
most.
taskmaster.
He's one of the most difficult person I've ever worked with in music because he was very demanding. But
Good.
he said to me, that's how he succeeded with
Yeah.
his
Yeah.
song, his monster hit.
Yeah.
I wanna me a lot. That song made him. He said he bought his house.
Yeah.
He
Good.
made over £500,000 from that song.
See?
That's what I was trying to say to Little John. You know, sorry about to bring that up, but people can make a fortune out of singing over. And if that's where you're gonna make your mark, and it can help to, you know, take it to another level. Nothing is wrong with that.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
can sing somebody's song and add justice to it and make yourself prominent, nothing is wrong with that.
Nothing's wrong because sometimes the original person, it's not going to go any further. It's not going to go.
That's
And then somebody else that does a cover, bring it to international,
yeah,
global
man.
recognition.
Yeah, man. Because Bob, it
Mm,
happened to Bob, you know, when
yeah.
thing there did Eric Clapton did over I Shot the Sheriff
Mm-hmm.
and made that song number. It was the first number one.
Yeah.
Eric Clapton sang it over, and everybody knew about Bob. More, it brought him into greater prominence because you know there was persons now covering his song.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And back
Yeah.
in the day, people that Bob couldn't get him song played on the radio in Jamaica, you know. I knew because I got to Tough Gang. I mean, sometimes in their studio, you're learning these things as when you're there. Sometimes you're hearing the story of Marley and what he used to have to do to fight through to get his music to that
Yeah.
level in a Jamaica. And when you hear a man singing over your song and people giving you worldwide recognition,
Yeah.
singing over can be good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It can
Yeah.
give your music power. It can
Yeah.
build your career. It can enhance your song. Or you could do it for somebody's song and bust yourself.
That's right.
Mm.
That's right. So you got to think smart, and I know you're a very intelligent, smart man. So
Thank you very much,
you
Adassah.
know how
Thank
it
you.
goes.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I must also take the opportunity to give a shout out to Larry Donner before we even move very far.
That's
Larry
right.
Dread,
Yeah.
yeah man, one of my mentors
Yeah.
and one of the person who, you know, is a foundation person. I grew up with Larry Dread as a youngster. And also, you know, we have to give a kudos to Big D to
That's
Mr.
right.
Derek Thompson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah man, Mr. Delroy Thompson. A lot of people like those have been very instrumental and adding to the value. And I
Yeah.
really appreciate. I must tell Larry Dread a lot of thanks. And Big D a lot of thanks, man.
That's
From the
right.
family.
Larry
So
Dread. The
yeah,
Larry
man, Larry
that
Dread,
don't
man.
have
Anyway,
no
Larry
dread.
Dread there. Anyway, Larry Dread the Adassah. And you know, so I'm not taking this to say that this is where the interview is going, but Larry Dread, Naphtali, yeah, man. I forgive them some big ups, man.
Give
Oh,
them. Give
Lord.
them.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Big ups to all of them, man. Man.
Yeah.
Very
Definitely.
engaging people, them, man. And you too. Big bless up, man.
Thank you,
Adassah.
Bernard. Thank you. So you actually get to meet me. Before
Yep,
some of them have met
you
me.
know, you know. Listening to you, you know. I listen, man. Yeah, man, that's really nice, man. Nice panel, man.
Yeah, yeah,
I now get to meet the beautiful Adassah. Yeah, man. It's a
yeah.
pleasure. It's an honor.
It's definitely a pleasure. It's nice to put a face to the voice, you know?
Yeah, no, because when I was listening to you, I said, I didn't know what to expect. But then you said, all of
Do
this
I sound
beauty.
very do I sound very strict on the show? Do I sound very strict on the show?
Yeah,
Be
yeah,
honest,
it's true.
you know.
But when you see all of this wonderful, beautiful face jumping up in my living room, as Boris would say, I would want to wake up like this every morning.
Don't make me laugh.
With Adassah at large.
Yes.
Beautiful program, Adassah. Beautiful program. Very
Thank you.
beautiful program, man. You know, man. More
Thank
strength and more power for you for the program for 2025.
and more
Long
strength.
may it continue, the journey continue with Adassah at large.
And
And thanks
thank
for
you.
this opportunity. But yeah, the Rasta Paradise song, it was on the World Reggae playlist for a number of weeks, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, Rasta Paradise was on the World Reggae playlist. It was played and with Lucky Dube, Ziggy Marley, Damian Marley. It was on that
Brilliant.
playlist with Luciana. And a lot of people was asking about Vernal from then in the pandemic when that song came out. So it was
Brilliant.
a really, I wrote it and I really feel pleased about it because Boris Gardner, who don't like people in him house, him wife would not, when I go there, the wife I'll bake, I'll put a cake for me, you know.
Ooh, you get
She said,
special
Vernal, this is for you.
VIP
Yeah, this,
treatment.
she said, Vernal, this cake is yours.
Ooh, you're really special once she baking cake.
Yeah, man, she baked me a cake, man. She said, to Boris, she really like my spirit.
Oh,
Because I'm
nice.
always very polite and very, going there. Most of some of the musicians, them, and singers sometimes can be abrasive. But
Right,
I was
yeah.
one of the person who was, always very nice and very polite and respectful to her.
Good.
And I treated their hospitality with, they were very hospitable people. And I reciprocated the same type
Yeah.
of persona around them.
You must do. You
Yeah,
must.
man, it
Yeah.
was a great love. And he
Yeah.
wanted to do the EP with me,
Oh.
because when I went on the interview with Boris, my first radio interview on a radio show in Jamaica, he
Mm-hmm.
told them that he wanted me and him to do the EP. But for whatever reason, I didn't. His tempo was a little too slow, I think, and he laid back. So I started working out with the music director for Damien and Ziggy Marley and Rita Marley,
Okay. Mm-hmm.
and he's much more up tempo because he worked on Kabaka Pyramid album, Barry Salmon, Damien, he's Ziggy Marley, he worked a lot with Rita Marley. So I thought that to me would have given me more,
Yeah.
of a more up tempo. So that's why when I took the one night stand to him, he said, no, man, we love the song, man. And we knocked it out in late November, That song was recorded very late November last year. And we didn't put it out until December. The
Nice.
first, yeah, man, as we recorded the song, we took it to the road. Because everybody said, boy, no, man, this song really one night stand. Because even me didn't want to call it one night stand. And I said, no, man, call it one night stand. I go sound like a persona of mine. And everybody said, no, man, this song one night stand. People will understand that art is not necessarily life of the artist. So
Yeah.
it's really just, a good journey. Really a good journey. Adassah.
And may it continue. It's going to get even better and
I'm,
better and better.
yeah, man, I really appreciate that. Looking forward to not just seeing you on in my living room now, but traveling up to that side and seeing you guys in real life. It would be really nice
We
to
will.
actually come and say hi to yourself and Big D, and all of the persons who have been very helpful and kind and helping me along this journey. I must say thanks. Very
Definitely.
thankful.
It will happen. It will
Yeah,
happen.
man.
This is just
The tip
another
of the
stage.
iceberg.
That's right. That's right. It's been a pleasure having you on the platform today, Vernal. I
Thanks.
could talk to you forever, but I've got to hand over the show to to the other platform. Somebody, DJ Remington still is going to be playing
Thanks a
on
lot. Much
Magic Radio.
appreciated. Have
But before we leave,
great Sunday.
and you. Before we leave, we're going to play Rasta Paradise, and
Yeah, man.
you play that out to the end of the show. So enjoy yourself, Vernal.
Thank you.
Enjoy all the listeners, and yeah, have a great Sunday. Have a blessed Sunday. A great week ahead,
Thank you, man.
and
Same to you and
listen
your
out
same to
for
you and
Vernal. Vernal, where
all
can we hear from you?
your
Where can we
listeners.
find you on social media? Because
Oh,
that is the question that the listeners and the viewers will be
okay.
asking.
If you go to I'm on Instagram, Vernal Saje on Instagram.
Hmm.
If you go, I'm on iTunes, YouTube, and YouTube is Vernal Saje as well on YouTube.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
once you just type in Vernal VERNALSAGE on any of these platforms, you'll find me. YouTube, you'll find me on Instagram, and my songs are in all music store, Amazon, iTunes, Spotify, all the music stores. You just type Vernal
Brilliant.
VERNALSAGE, you'll find me on all of those
Okay.
platforms.
Okay. So
Thanks for the
everyone,
opportunity.
you are more than welcome. And then we're gonna enjoy some
Justice.
Rasta Paradise for Sunday. Oh,
Bless up
that
to
sounds
Larry Jed, you know. Because Larry Jed,
blessings, Larry
ice
Jed.
green and
Larry
gold.
Jed,
Larry
yeah,
Jed at
you're
the
dread.
control.
You're dread, man. You're dread. You're dread. You're dread. One love.
One love,
Bye for
one
now.
love, one love.
Let's listen out with Rasta Paradise. Today we've had Vernal Saji. Look out for him, our bright rising star. Take care of yourselves, everyone, and take care of each other.
Oh yeah, alright. I had a vision late last night. Trod into a land so beautiful and so bright. A land filled with love, no war, no hatred, no crying. Man was so just, so humble, so loving and kind. Land of prosperity, rivers and mountains and streams. Land so pure and green, a beauty that's never been seen. Land of beauty untold, it brings a joy to my soul. Vision in Rasta's paradise. Oh yeah, it was so beautiful and so nice. While in paradise, what did I see? Mankind so blessed, living in harmony. Blessings of Jah flowed like the mighty sea. There was great joy, peace and unity. As I arose from my slumber to reality, there was no sadness, just serenity. It was a mystical place, time or no one can erase. Vision in Rasta's paradise. Oh yeah, it was so beautiful and so nice. a vision late, late last night, trotting through a land so beautiful and so bright. A land filled with love, no war, no hatred, no crime. Man was so just, so humble, so loving and kind. Land of prosperity, rivers and mountains and streams. Land so pure and green, a beauty that's never been seen. Land of a beauty untold, it brings a joy to my soul. Vision in Rasta's paradise. Oh yeah, it was so beautiful and so nice. Oh yeah, vision in Rasta's paradise. Oh yeah, it was so beautiful and so nice. Oh yeah, vision in Rasta's paradise. Oh yeah, it was so beautiful and so nice.